Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me tonight. In this video, I am going to be showing you how to paint some sunflowers in a mason jar. Be on a burlap canvas. Should be a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can. So, more on the beginner level, hopefully. I've got my husband Mark here with me tonight.
Hey there, everybody.
We'll be man in chat. So let's get started. Okay, so this is my example. I kind of fudged and did a Photoshop and made it put it on the burlap because I didn't want to use up one of my canvases. I bought these on I cheated. I did. I bought these on clearance last year sometime, so I'm sure you've probably seen them. Sometimes they come like prepped like this with the edges kind of the inside painted and the edges kind of raw. So I prepped this one. I'm going to show you how to do this, but it takes a while for it to dry, so you probably want to do that a few hours before you paint over it, just to let it. I actually did gesso and then sanded it and then did another coat of white, and it still probably could use another coat or two, but it's very, very textured. So anyhow, let me go over the palette really quick with you.
Oh, hold on.
Caught you off guard there. Okay. I've got burnt umber and dioxazine purple, titanium white, unbleached titanium, cadmium yellow medium. This is a color called diarylide yellow. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's similar to cadmium yellow deep. If you don't have it, this is cadmium orange, burnt sienna. I also put out a color called quinacridone azo gold, but it's similar to the burnt sienna. It's just a little bit more transparent and richer. So if you have that, use that as well as the burnt sienna. I'll be using both, but you can substitute it with the burnt sienna if you don't have it. Teal, phthalo green, yellow shade, phthalo blue, green shade, and turquoise, which is these two put together. So that's our palette. Let me set this aside and I'll show you how I started on my burlap.
Wow, that looks really interesting in the camera.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, just on the screen it looks like it's kind of got a checkered pattern that's kind of curved. I don't know, it's hard to explain. You know me, I can't explain artsy things.
That's all right. You figured out I'll work.
Okay.
So if you want to, if you have gesso, you can gesso it. Otherwise, you can just use straight paint right onto the canvas. I've got some cheap student quality Winsor & Newton Galleria titanium white. So I'm going to use that for the background since I don't want to use up my good expensive white for it. And I'm just going to do this one side. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to take a large flat brush. This one is a titanium number 6. And I actually used my Princeton brushes for the paper pad, but then I was worried that they'd get torn up. They're a little bit softer bristles, so I don't want to ruin them. So if you have an older brush that's a little bit more stiff bristled, you might want to use that, like a Simmons titanium or Simmons, what are they called? Simply Simmons brush. One of those might be good, or even a hog bristle brush would work too. So just something with a little bit stiffer bristles. Okay, so when I get about an inch away, I'm going to kind of feather in the edges. I'm not worrying too much about it being a straight line. I don't really want it to be a straight line. I'm just going to kind of pull that color out. And I'm not going to go in there with real thick color. So I've got the thicker color kind of toward the middle here, and then as I reach the edges, I'm just going to kind of feather it out. Now, if you don't have a burlap canvas and don't want to buy a burlap canvas, you can just do this on a white canvas or put any kind of color background you want on yours. You could even kind of do a faux burlap on the sides if you just wanted to kind of do a light brown and sort of do this effect around the outside edges of your canvas. You could do that. I'm trying to think. I think I did that on one of my paintings. I can't remember which one it was now. It's been 2 minutes. I want to say it was one last fall maybe. But anyhow, I have a couple other, these sunflowers in this video are going to be kind of on the realistic side. If you want to simplify them and do them a little bit more stylized or something like that, you could, so that's the idea. And you just kind of continue and go all the way around the canvas. And I just squirted it straight onto the canvas and smushed it around so you don't have to waste a spot on your palette for it. So anyhow, and then this has been dry for a few hours now, so it's okay. I had the same trouble with this cap. Could not get it back on. I swear.
You want me to do it for you?
Yes, please. I think that the thing is stripped or something because it just kept going round and round and round and wouldn't go on. Okay. So let's sketch it really quick. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue here, just some chalk. And I wanted to do my mason jar kind of offset here. So it's going to kind of span the top and come down to about here. So want to leave just a little bit of room for some shadow. And I'm going to do like this. And it's about a hand width. So just kind of flat-ish bottom. It's a little bit rounded, but mostly flat. And then kind of curve up the sides. The sides go straight up. And then as they get toward the top, they round out here and here. And we're not actually seeing the top of the neck of it, but it'll be right in here because we've got leaves and things that are going to be coming down in front of it. So our first flower is going to actually be right down in here. And it's going to overlap this quite a bit. So you kind of, I don't know if you want to, you don't have to draw it, but this is kind of the center section right here. Actually, it's a little bit more circular than oval. And then the other one is going to be right here. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I drew it a little high earlier. So right about here. And then this one is a little bit lower than the bottom of this. So just come down just a little bit and a little bit out to the side. So it's going to be about a half inch or inch, quarters of an inch away from the edge of the jar and just a bit lower than this flower. So we're kind of varying the heights of them like that. So this one's oval, this one's more of a circle. This one's a little bit flatter oval, and this one's a large oval, like that, okay? And that's all the drawings we're going to do really for this. We'll work on our petals as we put them in. If you want to, you can kind of sketch out where you want a couple of the leaves to go. I'm just going to do those in softer color, just so that I can erase them if I need to. And then this leaf is going to come down over the top of our jar right there. Okay.
I can see you using your bear chalk holder there.
I am. He's so cute.
Very cute.
I have to show him again.
And
I wish I could remember the name of the artist. I have to look up her card. She was from Kansas City.
If people are wondering, the cameraman is using Cab Red tonight.
Cab Red?
Yep.
Cabernet.
Cheers.
Got it. Got it. I needed that today. I had a day.
The artist dream day, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, the day that I have to get my painting done for this evening's show, and my internet wireless had a cyber attack or something on it.
Yeah,
so.
Had a hacker trying to get into our system.
So guess what I did for 4 hours today? So awesome. All morning long. And then I sat down to paint. I was so mad. I painted over the whole thing and did it again twice.
Remember, people, don't paint angry.
Don't paint angry. That's right. Good advice, because it does not go well. All right, I'm just using the same brush, and I'm just slapping on this paint, letting a little bit of the background color showing through, but I'm really, covering it well. I don't want any of the white showing through, but we can kind of have some transparency happening. If that makes sense. And the center here is going to be a little bit smaller than what we will end up with, because we'll put in some more color on top of our petals once we put those in. So we'll put our petals in, and then we'll add a little bit more of the center color in and some details to it later. But we'll go ahead and put these in now. Then we'll work on our jar, and then we'll come back to this and it'll be dry.
So we're debuting the side camera view for our general public.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the first time?
Yeah, we used it Saturday for the Patreon
I thought we had used
special
it
bonus
another
video. No?
time. No? Okay.
And so this first one. So
Very
thanks to all
cool.
the Patreon supporters, we're
That's
able to
right.
bring you this view that you're seeing right now. We've been
Yes.
able to do that. So
It was very popular. They really
Mm-hmm.
liked it. And I could see why, because it kind of gives you, it does give you a different look at what I'm doing. You can kind of see how I'm holding the brush and that, and how hard I'm pressing down and that kind of thing. So it's harder to tell from straight on.
correct. Yeah.
This was Mark's idea, by the way, so I give him credit for this.
You're welcome. So now I expect a tank painting. Yeah.
Oh, tank. You know I'm going to have to do that. What is Veterans Day is coming up here, right? Isn't that coming up?
No,
Remembrance Day, Veterans Day, and that's in September.
Maybe.
I think it is.
I don't know.
So we had talked about doing another poppy painting.
I know you were taking
For
a,
it.
a poll on your
The
Facebook
only bad
group.
thing is this is where I
Oh,
leave my
yeah.
paper towels. I'm gonna stick my head down there now.
You should.
I
That'd be
should.
awesome.
I can't reach. I don't
Can't
think
make
I'm
it
that
far
flexible.
now.
You can still see my hair. No, you still.
Oh,
I
just-
can't
just
even.
a
Not
little
even
bit.
if I try. Just not that flexible. Okay, so let's start on the vase here. I'm going to grab some teal, and if you don't have teal, you can mix it. Use some phthalo blue and white and a little bit of this green here. Phthalo green, phthalo blue, and phthalo white will get you this teal. So it's a pre-mixed color. I just like to use, I use it a lot in a lot of different paintings, so I like to have it all mixed up and ready to go. I'm adding a little bit of water to this. And we're going to do kind of a wash effect. So have a paper towel ready off to the side and get it a little bit damp. And we're going to do kind of a sort of a watercolor technique. We're going to be lifting off some color once we put it down. So we're putting it down fairly light on our jar here. Go right up to the edge, but put it on quickly because you don't want it to dry before we get to do this effect. And you could do one side and then come back and do the other side if it's stressing you out to try to get this all done really quickly. You can do it in sections.
Okay, so we got some people that are just coming in and they
Yes.
want to know where would you be able to get the burlap covered canvas?
I got mine at Hobby Lobby, and I have a link down in the description for the ones that I found on Amazon. They weren't the panels; they were actual canvas, full-size canvas with the wrapped edges. But they're the same size. This is 11 by 14 inch canvas here that I'm using, and so I'm going to use the paper towel and just dab off, kind of in the middle here, just a little bit of this color. Create some sort of reflective type of things happening in this glass.
Okay, we have another question here. When you're ready,
Yep, go for it.
go for it. Okay. Somebody wants to know, Krista wants to know, is a Liquitex phthalo green, phthalo blue the same as the Goldens?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
it should have the same tone and all that?
Yes. Most
So-
of the time when they're named the same like that, they're chemical, and so they're identical. So, same thing with ultramarine blue and the cadmium colors and all that.
Okay,
They're-
so we try to set up the cameras to give as true of a representation of the colors.
Yes.
Are they exact? Not exactly, unfortunately, but they're pretty darn close.
Yeah, they are.
So if you think that your paints at home are slightly off, it just may be.
It could be your settings on your computer,
Could
or,
be that, right?
too.
Because it's not our fault.
I'm getting the darker color here. I'm going to even add a little bit of burnt sienna to it. getting the turquoise, a little bit of burnt sienna, added a little bit of phthalo blue to it too. And I'm going to go along the edge here and go just kind of just inside the edge. So leaving a little bit of that lighter turquoise out there. I need to get these even. This is like, they're not looking like they match up very well here. Okay. And then I'm going to do like a circle at the bottom, and I'm just kind of doing it in sketchy, so it doesn't have to be filled in all the way. Just want kind of the indication of a little bit of a darker area down there for the bottom of our jar. And then we'll put in some, grab some white here.
Artsy Girl wants to know what's the difference between a flat and a bright brush.
The flat here is what I'm using. It's a little bit longer bristles, so it holds a little bit more paint, and it's a little bit more flexible. Really, either one would work though. I'll show you the bright in the same brush. That's the bright, the difference. How much shorter it is.
I need to write that down because that's a semi-common question. So
yeah,
that'll make it sound like I'm smart or something.
You know your brushes. Okay. There we go. Let's put in some green stems here, and then we'll finish off our water. I'm going to grab some phthalo green. Got a weird hair sticking out there. And some burnt umber. And then I'm going to grab some of that unbleached titanium. And I think I used this one. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember which yellow I used. I think it was this medium yellow. That looks right. Don't you love it? I painted it this afternoon. I can't remember what color I used. Oh, goodness. If you wonder why I wait to the last minute to paint, that's why. If I don't write it down,
you guys make it hard on yourselves. You should just be blue, red, yellow, green, and be done with it.
And done.
Not 75 shades of blue and all that stuff.
Hey, we're artistes, don't.
Oh, sorry. Too practical.
Yes, it's too practical. Okay, so I'm going to start up here. And I'm going to go through the jar here, and I'm just going to kind of dab some color right there on that part. Like I said, most of that's going to be covered up. And then I'm going to very lightly just kind of sketch and figure out, I probably went a little bit lower than I want to right there. We'll start our water right there, and we'll do finish our stem right underneath right here. So let's put in our water line so we kind of know what to aim for. I grab some of that turquoise, that darker color, and so I'm going to go right along that bottom line there. Cross, and it should kind of mimic this shape here. So it should be kind of this rounded shape-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, but kind of like that. With some softer color there. Okay, so now I can grab that green, and I'm going to go right and do a nice hard line right there where that splits happens. Let's do another stem that's for this one. A little bit there, a little bit there. And this is just the 1/4 inch width of the brush. So if you're having trouble keeping a straight line, you could use a ruler and set the ruler down, kind of set your brush against it and use that to help you get a straight line. So it's going to hit the water right there. And it always kind of shifts over a little bit. It's just an optical illusion, so it'll help if you kind of shift that over slightly. Let's do some brown here and do the end of it kind of with some brown so you can see where those ends are. And then let's do another one right here. It's going to come up this way. Grab that green and find the split, move it over just a little bit. It's going to cross over this one and head up right this way, right off the end and around like that. Okay, so there's our little stems. We can add some yellow to them. Let's grab some cadmium yellow, medium, and our unbleached titanium. Unbleached titanium just makes the shift in colors a little bit softer. It's a little bit warmer white, and it's not as drastic a change, so you can kind of mix your colors a little bit more gradually. So I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm just kind of adding a little highlight in the middle of these and kind of filling in any spots that are kind of blank. There. Don't worry about it. If you go over this, we can cover back over the jar. And then let's add some, grab some white now. A little bit more of the yellow. And we'll add, oh, water there. Where that came from. Oh, it's sitting on my palette right there. So pick one that's kind of over the top of the other and give it a highlight. And then we can put a little bit of this color in the water, just slightly, just a little bit of that green there, maybe a little bit down here. Okay.
I just want to say thanks to everybody who's joining us tonight all over the world.
Yes.
We know at least the Philippines are here in Alabama and our usual suspects. So welcome to Angela's channel. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us tonight. You can subscribe to her channel up there. Hit the like button, the thumbs up. And down below in the description is all the stuff that she's using tonight. All the supplies and links to Amazon and Brush Guys and social media and all that stuff. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, just add a little bit of burnt umber here, just some darker shadows and things in a couple of places. I think we're pretty good. Grab a little bit of that phthalo blue and a little bit of white. And I'm going to let it merge with that turquoise just a little bit, just to soften it up slightly. And we'll add a little bit of it in some of our water, a couple places on our jar. We need it a little bit brighter than that. A little bit more white. There we go. Oh, I have a lot of turquoise in that white there. Okay, see if I can find some white that's clean. There we go. Ish. It's mixing with that blue still, but that's all right. And I'm gonna tap in some highlights. I think I need to make that blue. This is what the problem is. It just needs to be a little bit darker. This whole puddle needs to be a little bit darker. So we're just going to darken this whole section up right here, so we can put some light reflections in on it. Okay, now it'll make more sense when we put some light spots in there. Clean out my brush. I'm going to grab that white and just add some little dashes where the ripples are happening in the water. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of the really dark, add the really dark right here and back in here. And a little bit of really dark back in here. And on our jar lid here. Grab some white, add some white there too, just in case some of this shows through. It probably won't, but you just never know. Alright, now I'm going to take some of this white again. And I'm going to press my brush nice and flat. I'm going to get a good amount of paint on my brush, like that. And I'm going to set it down on the side here and run some streaks. And I'm going to go right over the top of my water here. Let's see, I want some over here. Go right down the side of that jar. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I might have covered up a little too much of this on this side, but we'll see. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to get too fancy with the jar. We could do more to it, but I think it's probably pretty good. Get close. I'll add a little bit of brown. Mix it with the white. Just kind of use it to edge this outer side here just a little bit. Add a few pretty much any colors that we're using up here we can kind of put in our glass and cause some reflective reflections. So, reflective reflections. This is definitely painting differently than the paper did. So if you do this on paper and you go to canvas, just expect it's a lot more textured, so it's catching the paint differently. It's not doing these long smooth streaks like what we had going on here. So you can see how different it looks. You know, it's not a bad thing, it's just different. So if you expect it, you won't freak out when it happens, hopefully. Alright, let me guess we can put in our shadow underneath. Grab some of that purple and burnt umber. A little bit of the unbleached titanium. Yeah, I'm going to turn this so it's a little bit easier. And I'm going to come up a little bit on it and use the edge of my brush and just, you can use an angle brush if you have one. You can get in there a little tighter. An angle brush, I'm just kind of holding it with the point down a little bit and I'm going to set it right up against that edge there. And I've got a lot of water in my brush, so it's going to kind of catch on the canvas here. And I'm just going to come up about the same amount, the same height on this side. Kind of come across and then just lay out some Just letting that paint kind of drag on the canvas. Putting in a little bit of a shadow. If you wanted to, you could put a tabletop here or some sort of a line. I mean, I could do that. I didn't do it in mine. But if you want to, wanted to have something back here, that was more like a, table, we can put a line in here. Just make sure it's horizontal. Put some in the jar. Ooh.
So do you need sunflower facts?
Sure.
Wow. You sounded really excited there.
I'm thinking, sorry.
Settle down.
Getting some white. I put a little too dark.
All right,
I don't
now,
like it.
all these facts have not been verified. They're from the interweb. So please feel free to challenge any fact. Hashtag sunflower facts. They're native to the United States.
Interesting.
It is the world's tallest. The world's tallest sunflower reaches 30 feet.
What?
So there you go.
Taller than our house, probably.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
You're right. It's 30 feet 1 inch. Thank you very much. But I figured I'd round it. But since you called me out.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's good. So there it is with a little bit of a table there, or a wall or whatever. Okay, let's put in our petals. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Filbert and hope for the best. Hope it doesn't tear it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna grab burnt sienna and orange and make a deep orange color. A little bit more on the burnt sienna side, so it's a little bit dark-ish. There we go. And this is where I'm just going to kind of figure out how I want my petals to go. I'm going to a little bit of water to that to make it flow, and I'm setting my brush down and twisting it to get a point on it.
Now this is where the
You
side
can also
view
do
camera
it this
comes
way.
in.
You can also do it like this and smush down and then lift and drag it. That'll also get you a similar brush stroke happening. See, and that's from setting it down on its side. You could use a flat brush if you don't have a Filbert. Filbert just is a rounded flat. I'm crowding these up right next to each other. And then as I go around the sides, I'm going to kind of tuck them back so they're kind of bending backward a little bit.
What brush is that you're using again?
Filbert.
Filbert. Okay.
It's a number 4. It's about a 1/2 inch. Okay, and the ones on this side are a little bit shorter than the ones on this side, because this side we're seeing kind of a longer part. This side is kind of coming at us and then falling back down a little bit. So we're not seeing the full petal. If that makes sense. Just like that. I might show it from the top, hun, so they can see the drawing. See? So these are shorter on this back side. And the ones up here are longer. Okay. Let's do these ones. These are all kind of tucked up next to each other. Here again, they're kind of shorter because they're kind of crammed together and bending sort of somewhat towards us. But then these ones, we're seeing more of them, so we're seeing. You could also pull from the inside out, or inside or outside in, I mean. So if you're getting a better point that way, you can kind of set it down and then smush it. Whatever works for you, just kind of practice. It's always good to practice on paper. I actually had one of the guys in my group, my Facebook group, was saying that he keeps a, I can't remember his name. I meant to remember it and I forgot. Now it's bugging me. Anyhow, he keeps a canvas, like a blank spare canvas, you know, just an old one on the side, and he practices on it so that he can kind of get the texture of the canvas even, so he doesn't even just use paper.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty.
That's
pretty
Steve
ingenious.
Stevens.
Huh?
That's Steve Stevens.
No.
No, they don't know.
It was. He had a Manley. I think that's his last name because I remember thinking it was a good name for a guy.
And Mark isn't.
I'm just saying. It sounded very manly. I was like, yeah.
We don't need to go there right now.
You abandoned me today. I was so mad. You weren't answering my phone calls. We were in a meeting or something. I was having an internet crisis. Jeez. You left me high and dry. Figured out myself.
I know when I saw
And
the
he's
text.
just like, call your brother. And I'm like, calling you. You knew you were in trouble when you saw your texts. You came out of your meeting. Yeah.
Well, no, that I couldn't do anything. You know, I know that you need help, and I can't help you. I feel so helpless.
Yeah.
So, who wants more sunflower facts? So, I did not know this. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go to the side cam. This is pretty cool looking. Okay. So, they are actually thousands of tiny flowers.
Really?
Each sunflower head is made up of smaller flowers. The petals we see around the outside are called ray florets. Florets. And they cannot reproduce. But the disc florets in the middle, where the seeds develop, have both male and female sex organs, and each produce a seed.
Interesting.
They can self-pollinate or take pollen blown by the wind or transported by insects. So I did not know that.
Did not either. Okay, put a little bit of that color in the reflection of the water there. Okay, and I'm going to put some green in there. I probably should have done that first. I did it first on mine, but then I wasn't sure if I liked the green underneath, but I probably should have done it that way. Stuck with what I did first, so you may want to do this step before you put in your petals. I'm going to try to fit in some green in between these. Yeah, that's working okay. So anywhere that I have white canvas showing, I'm just going to kind of dab in some of this dark green here. And it's okay if you go over your petals a little bit. I mixed up the dark, the phthalo green with burnt umber for this color. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit of it in between some of these petals even. Okay, and then I've switched to my round brush, by the way. This is a number 1 round, but it's probably closer to a number 4 or number 2 in the Princeton brushes. Put in a leaf. This is definitely weirder, different texture. This canvas is kind of, it reminds me of painting on walls with stucco. It's very hard to get a straight line, but that's fine. This is a good painting to do it on because we're not trying to get really perfect lines on this. It's supposed to be painterly and impressionistic, so we can kind of get away with having a little bit messier edges and stuff. Okay, so let's put in a nice big leaf right in here. This one's got green in between here. So just kind of make this whole area make a little more sense visually. Just have some of this green going on in here. And if you don't want to cover up your jar, you can make this leaf in a different, put it in a different spot. Go. Go.
So Kim Sim wants to know, could you paint some fallen petals on the table?
Sure.
We can do whatever you want.
That's right.
Start painting.
Yeah, I don't think, I didn't do it on mine just because I've actually thought about doing it, but sunflowers don't tend to shed their leaves. They kind of just curl up and you know, I mean, they don't shed their leaves all that much. So, but I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that if you wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna grab some yellow, mix that with my green that I've been using, which was the green with the ultra burnt umber and phthalo green. And now I'm adding cadmium yellow to it, and I'm going to add some highlights. Let's add white. Add highlights to this leaf just to pop it out.
I had a request for zoom, so I'm zooming in on you there so
Okay.
they can see better.
Go for it. I'm just going to kind of setting it down on the edge and pulling in toward the middle. I'm not really defining the leaves all that much. Just like that. Maybe put a little bit more on this one. Okay. And then I can use a little bit of this color on my stem here again if you want to.
And so you're adding the highlights while the paint is wet, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of slightly blending with it. Okay, let's add our. See, I might stick with this brush and see how it does. I'm going to start with the yellow now. This is the diarylide. Diarylide. Not sure how you say it.
Easy for you to say.
I know. I can say it better when I'm thinking it than when I'm saying it. If that makes sense. That's how you spell it. Diarylide.
So just be careful how you say it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's pretty. So isn't that nice? Having that that darker color underneath. You wouldn't think, since you're doing yellow, that you'd want this dark orange color, but you really need some dark in there so that you have something to contrast against, because that yellow is so light, such a light color. And I'm not covering all of it up, I'm just creating streaks in it. When it's closer to the center here, some of these I'm going to leave pretty dark right in here. So I'm going to start from the outside and pull in and just leave a little bit of that darker in the center. Maybe this side's got some shadow. Yeah, I'm not pulling it all the way into that center like I did on the other side. Go for it. But
I was just going to give a shout out to Pam, who's joining us for the first time live. Welcome. And she says that thanks for teaching us so you can learn how to paint. She's only been doing this for 2 months.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Changing lives. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. I think I have one of the best jobs there is. This is pretty fun. And I love getting to share this with people and getting other people excited about painting along with me. My family doesn't get it, so I have to get my fix for you guys.
So are you going to open up a tech YouTube channel also? Show how to do computer networking and things like that?
Yeah, how to fix.
After today?
How to beat the hackers.
Beat back hackers?
No.
Okay.
No. I think I said, no, sorry kids. I think I said more cuss words today than I have like in 2 years. Just saying. That's not my thing usually, but today it called for it.
Hey, it's okay as long as they weren't directed towards me. It's all that I care about.
No. No, it wasn't. It was logging in and trying to change our passwords and having my phone go, hey, do you want to update? And then losing my spot because my phone stopped. Oh, I could go on. It was just bad. So I'm glad to be painting with you guys because this is much more fun than how I spent my morning. Way more fun. And that is a fact that painting does take you away from your stresses. That is one of the best things about it. Okay, just adding some smaller brush strokes there. It's going to look worse before it gets better. It's still looking pretty ugly at this point. And I get a lot of people that send me pictures that are paintings that are halfway done and say, oh, I'm doing something wrong. It looks terrible. And I think, you need to look at how mine looked at that point too, because mine didn't look any better than that does. You're just not finished yet. It's still a work in progress. And acrylic paintings especially, they go through major ugly stages before they look better. And usually it's the very last few brush strokes that kind of bring it all together and make them like finally look good. So just keep on plugging away. If this is if you're new to it, don't get stressed out by the ugly stage. It'll cause you some psychological grief. But if you kind of know what's happening, you can kind of hopefully work your way through it. I still have that, and I've been painting for like 30 years now. I still have times in paintings where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible, this is not going to work. And then, just keep on adding layers until it does work. So you just gotta trust the process.
I like that dramatic reenactment that you just did.
Do not mess with me tonight.
I felt like I was there.
Stop. You.
You're welcome. You gotta laugh after a day like this. So.
That's true. Okay, I better get my... And I'm trying to kind of find some spots to put some like little petals in between too, so that they're not all like perfectly spaced all the way around, because sunflowers grow and kind of layered on top of each other. The petals overlap, so they're not all perfectly lined up side by side. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm just reading through the chats and.
Oh.
So people have to be subscribed to your channel to join the chat, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's moving much faster tonight than it did Saturday.
Well, good.
And people.
Got more people in chats?
Oh, slightly, yeah.
Good.
Like 10 times more.
How many people we got?
We have 270 or so.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because we were doing Patreon. I see.
Exactly.
I was like 10 times. We have 4,000 people. No. 2,000 people watching? What?
No, gotcha.
Okay. I remember now. Yeah, our Patreon ones tend to be a lot more subdued. Got a smaller audience.
Hey, can you make it look a little harder? People in chat saying that you're making it look easy.
You look easy.
Yeah. Hey, if they want it to look hard, I'll do it.
There you go. You want to do a couple petals? Here, do one.
Yeah, no.
Come on. I've only got a couple left here.
Okay, hold on a sec. As long as
Do
you
these
promise
couple.
not to paint over it.
No, I won't. Well, I've got to paint over it because there's several more layers still to go here.
Oh, well then forget about it.
Okay. You want to do the last couple layers? Nope.
We'll see. We need to get another camera. And I was thinking, because some people suggested in the past that I do the stickman art.
Oh, so you want your own channel now is what you're saying. You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
Start your own side channel.
Kind of a spin-off.
Got it.
Like I said.
You're like Rhoda. Is that?
Was that Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah, exactly.
Ran off of Happy Days.
Mm-hmm. Rhoda was Myra Tyler Moore, right? Spin-off. Sorry, we're showing our age now. Okay, so that's looking good.
We just watch reruns. We're millennials. We're 20-somethings.
Good try.
Oh,
Good
okay.
try.
Nobody knows that we have 20-something children, right?
We don't have 20-something children.
We don't have 20 children.
We Ouch, that just starts thinking about it. Although the Duggars were from Arkansas, so... Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm adding Dale Green to burnt sienna. Grabbing some of that diarrhea-lide. Stop. You make me laugh now. You're so juvenile. Stop. I can't even look at him. Okay, I'm going to paint some of this green in here. Stop it. Sorry, guys. If you're new to our channel, really don't. Oh, this is a weird night. We do like to have fun, though. All right, just add a little bit of green into those petals.
I just want to know, does it stink?
No. It does not. I'm going to take some yellow over here. I'm going to spray my palette down because it's getting a little bit dry, sticky. And I'm going to mix a light yellow using, kind of just a soft yellow using the unbleached titanium.
So, what brush have you been using to do
Cadmium
the yellow?
This is the titanium number 1.
So you've been using that for all the yellow?
For the yellow petals, yes.
Okay. Titanium number 1.
Mm-hmm. Or just any kind of small round will work. I'm liking this thicker texture to this one. It's just this canvas being so textured, it needs a little bit stiffer brush. But it does need to make a point, like be able to come to a point for the end of these. So just whatever you've got that works. It doesn't have to be this one. So I'm going to come out just a little bit so that the middle part here that's touching the petals that might be curved down in is getting some shadow, and this part that's sort of up here is getting more light, and then it's bent back down and getting more shadow again. So we're highlighting this top part of it, and this part where it's touching the center is a little bit shadowed. This is the brightest part, and then the end of it is a little bit in shadow here. If that makes sense. So see that? That'll make it look rounded. So just starting instead of going right up to here, I'm just starting it just a little bit more in the middle of the petal. And these ones are getting nice light on the tips, so I want to make the tips nice and bright. Ooh, super chat. Nice. Awesome. Mark's having to hold it with one hand and do the cowbell with the other.
Yeah. The sweet setup we had taken or done is now taken up by the new side cam.
Yep,
So
the side cam took over the disco ball.
So it's a shout out to Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Says, thanks for the confidence to book my first paint party.
Ooh.
Oh, now this is funny. You should see our cat going crazy over the lights on the floor here.
Oh my goodness. It's like laser light times 20.
Oh, it's got the dog's attention too.
The animals are all like, what the heck is going on? And Mark's playing with the cats and not... Get back to work.
No, I was trying to turn it off.
Oh.
That's like,
Seen over, and it's like making all these
why are you not turning
weird
off?
shapes. That you're playing with them. So just slave driver. Okay. I think go to the front view and we can look at it and see what it's looking like. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think that I want these to be a little bit thicker in here, so I'm going to grab some of this. I'll grab some of the quinacridone, nickel azo gold. You can kind of see how it's a little bit different from the burnt sienna. I've got some yellow in my brush, so it's changing it a little bit, but I'm going to highlight some of these and widen these petals out just slightly. Some of them. There we go. Just go back in here and add in a little bit of more detail. Now they're starting to take a little bit better shape. So this color is kind of in between the real dark brown that the dark, this color that we started with. It's like one shade lighter, and it's got a little bit more yellow. It kind of spans the diary light and this color. So it's going to add some transition color between the really dark and really light. Ooh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm trying to do my job here.
Thank you.
So that cowbell was brought to you by Becky. And she says, love the burlap.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited to get to use it. Thank you, Becky. I've been kind of trying to figure out the right project for it. You know, I just have had it sitting underneath with all my palettes for a while, or with all my what am I trying to say? Canvases. Thank you. That word. For a while now, you know, almost, I don't know, I don't remember when I bought them, but it's been a while. May have even been last year. So yeah, I thought I had the idea to do the mason jar, and I was like, oh, mason jar with on the burlap. That's the ticket. Okay, so just going back in here, adding a few little extra details, and then I'm gonna clean that out. Grab some white and some yellow. And actually, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to do the centers, and then we'll come back to these. I'm going to grab the purple and burnt umber. And you would think purple would be a weird color. Purple is a great color to go against yellow because they're opposite on the color wheel. So it's just a natural choice for a dark area. Instead of using black, using this purple will just give us a richer feeling to our painting. And your eye won't even read that it's purple. It won't be like, hey, why is that purple in there? It'll just look black because it's so dark. But it will pop against this yellow more vibrantly than if we had used black or something else, or just brown. So just going to do kind of dual rings of color with this purple, leaving a little bit of that lighter brown showing through still. I'm going to go kind of in between these petals here. This is where I can kind of redefine if I got a little bit off on my shape of my petals. I can kind of redefine my center and go back over some of these. There we go. That. That's just a little bit of brown. There's really not a lot of brown in this. It's mostly just the purple. And I really want to go up over the top of these and kind of create an unevenness to the border with my petals. So I get a really cool, it looks like those seed pods sticking out. All right, now I'm going to grab some orange, mix that. It's got a little bit of the purple in it. And I'm going to tap in kind of circles in this center area. They're not going to be perfect circles, just kind of oval. You're going to follow the shape of this. So whatever this shape is, you're going to kind of flatten it out and do on the inside. So that one's kind of oval like that. This one's more rounded, so I'll do more of a rounded shape on this one. See? Keep it kind of random. The more random, the more natural it'll look. You can go stylized and do it real perfectly, and that's a perfectly valid style, and I have one that I did. One of my very first paintings on YouTube was a sunflower tutorial, so that I did with my kids class, and it's very, very stylized. The petals are very perfect and all evenly spaced and that kind of thing. So if that's what you like, you might want to look that one up. Just I don't know if you know this, but if you after the show, if you want to see the other videos that I've got available, all you have to do is click on my name or my photograph that's down there underneath the video. Sometimes there's a little watermark in the bottom corner of the video. If you click on that, it'll take you to my channel homepage, and there is where you can find all of my other videos and see the playlist that I have. I have a flower playlist, and all of the sunflowers that I've done are in that flower playlist. The other sunflower painting that I did was the boho series, and it was with the black and white vases, and there was 2 other paintings that went with it. So, but you could substitute those sunflowers for these ones if you wanted to. Just adding a little bit of green here.
So somebody asked,
I think I'm going to grab some teal too and just add a little bit of that teal up here. Go for it. What?
How would you hang this? And
I would probably... go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that in your Facebook group this week in your live chat, you were showing that you were putting the canvas panels into frames.
Yes.
Stuff, so.
Yeah, if you're in my Thankful Art group on Facebook, the link's down in the description. We do art chats on Mondays, and I've been getting ready for a show in Little Rock and framing some of these panels, and showed how to do that. But if for this one in particular, I probably would just I'm adding a little bit of this unbleached titanium to my burnt umber here, and I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of that too, maybe around this outside. What was the question? Oh, I would probably just do ribbon on this one. Honestly, I think that would be pretty just to do a really pretty fall ribbon and hang it. You could hang it on your door even, if you varnish it for being outside. Adding a little bit more purple just to get some of that dark contrast in there. Okay, liking that. Grabbing a little bit of this yellow. Add a little bit of yellow. Ooh.
Yeah.
Man. What are you doing in chat today, honey? You're getting them all done. That's awesome.
that was Becky again. She said that was so fun.
Becky.
I think I'll do it again.
Awesome. So nice. I'll do it twice. Okay, adding a little tiny bit of yellow. I think that's good. Really getting kind of nitpicky here. It's really kind of just as much as you want to do on detail on these. In fact, I think that this side might have a little bit of highlight along this edge. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this white and this yellow and do some really bright highlights. This should be dry now. So my last little bit of highlights, I'm just going to add a little bit extra, really bright here and there. You always want to be careful with your highlight layers, because the tendency is to cover up all your dark areas and end up with no contrast. So just kind of be selective where you're putting these. Think about where the light might be hitting these.
Is this where I step in?
Take the brush away from me? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I can paint a highlight if this is the last, so you don't paint over it.
I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come do one.
Do I leave it on the side view, or should we do top view?
Do the top view, probably.
Okay. All right, so I'm using.
So do some of these.
A number 1 round. Well, let me actually watch you do it, because I haven't been watching you.
Okay.
I've been ringing cowbells and stuff.
Okay. So I'm pulling from the outside in here. You don't have to go right up to the tip, but just kind of set it down and lift.
Okay. All right.
Let
Okay, give me
me
some
get
paint.
you some more paint here. Okay.
Okay, so which one do I need? This one right here?
Uh-huh. Hold it closer.
Closer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
And then just set down lift?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yep. Do this one.
This one right here?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Good.
Oh, man, that is the best. That is the money
best
maker.
one.
Here, let me sign that one.
Good job, hun. All right. Yeah, we're almost done, really. This is so not too bad. It's
We got another one while we're
Wow.
doing that.
nice. They're donated because they like to see you.
Lady Fair said we need more cowbell.
Got a what is it? What was the saying? Got a prescription. How does it go?
I got a fever.
Got a fever. That's right. And the prescription is more cowbell. Oh gosh. We are Saturday Night Live geeks. I have to say, just apologize because there's a lot of Saturday Night Live references on our show. Okay. I'm just adding back in some shadows now. You know, just thinking about some shadow area, maybe some really dark shadows. I'm going to grab some burnt umber. Maybe add that to my orange. Add in just a little bit some of these areas where I want it really dark. See how that kind of just gives it a little bit more dimension there. I feel like I'm not 100% happy with this one. Don't think he knows where he's going, if he's bending or if he's going straight, so I'm gonna fix him a little bit. Okay. So a couple little highlights on this one and we'll be done. Oh, I see. I did a little bit more orange on mine. I need to add some orange. That's the issue right there. Okay. Now some of the bright yellow. What?
Yeah, we got another one there.
Nice.
This one's from Carrie. And said one more.
Thank you, Carrie. That's awesome. Love it.
They're keeping me
Y'all
busy
are
tonight.
awesome.
Between the cowbells and the painting and
I
the
know.
camera views.
Poor guy.
And I
And he
haven't
hasn't
had
even
anything to eat.
I know. Hashtag feed Mark.
Hashtag,
All right.
exactly.
We're done. We're just about done
And the
here.
cabaret is out. Almost.
It's been destroyed, huh? Goodness. All right, I'm loving this. I think we're good. And I'll go ahead and put a pedal down for Kim, right?
Yes.
She wanted a petal.
Yep.
So we'll just smush down a petal or two down in here.
Oh, wait a minute. I need to zoom out. Hold on.
Oh.
I was on the side and then zoomed out. There you go.
There we go. We'll get a couple of the petals. Add a little bit of yellow.
So you're using the same technique as far as smushing down and twisting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of set it down and... All right. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Happy with that. I think I could probably mess with the highlights for another hour, but you know me. We'll try to get you out of here, honey, so you can get some dinner. Can I have some mercy on you? Let me grab some white and just add a little bit more white in my water right here. A little bright highlight.
So just to let you know that I've teased in the chat that I know what your plans are for the other panel.
I know.
But I haven't told them what it is.
Oh, you haven't.
But I'm just
Should
teasing.
I tell them?
No. This is a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we're definitely doing a part 2 with
Okay.
another panel.
All right. So
with the other one.
If there's a $50,000 super chat, I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, Dover.
Yeah. So those are the conditions. I will fall out of my chair if that actually happens. And you'll be sorely disappointed.
And you'll be sorely disappointed. Oh, goodness. I'm going to add a little bit darker. I just want this darker, like this color up here. Just get that dark down in here. We could even do a little bit of blue in it if we wanted to, but I think we're good. All right, I'm going to call it good. I'm going to call it done. And I didn't draw right ball on here. Like, if you wanted to, you could do that. If you did the writing, I would do it with the dark teal color, and then highlight on top. So we'll do it on this one. Probably doesn't even need to be that dark.
Okay, I'll even throw in a dance for the 50,000 super chat. And I have danced on camera before, so
He has. That is a thing.
I'm not really dressed for it, but
I doubt you're going to get it, honey. I would give up at this point. Just give it up.
you don't think so, huh? Well,
don't
somebody
think it's gonna
said that I
happen.
would have to dance a jig. So I'm game. Calling the bluff here.
See, I'm just lightly highlighting over the top area there with it, so you can see kind of the, I don't know. And I think it has a line underneath it too. I don't know, but I don't have a jar looking that I'm. Oh yes, it does have a line. Okay, it has a line that kind of goes like that. So that would be if you decided to write on it, how you do it.
Okay, so somebody want to know any advice on how to help keep your the paper in your pad from buckling and warping and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's gonna do that. I'm using some purple here. Yeah, it's pretty much just because, anytime you're putting water on paper, it's gonna buckle. So, I find that they don't do it too bad, really. I mean, I think. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have that much of an issue. I think maybe if you gessoed it, it probably would give it a little bit of a stiffener and make it less, warpy. It really kind of curls up along the edges mostly for me. This one was, I don't know. pretty flat. And I find that, if you close it up in the, keep it closed and kind of keep something heavy on it, it kind of helps to even it out too. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot you can do about it warping. I mean, I've heard people can, you could tape it down, but I still find that it warps even if you tape it. So I don't find that really makes a huge difference. So, all right. Ooh, one last one before we go.
We got another one coming in from Victoria. She says, I've loved watching you paint for several months now. This is the one that really spoke to me, and the tip of the yellow flowers is so worth it. Big fan.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much,
What's
Victoria.
Her name again?
Victoria.
Victoria. Thank you, Victoria. That's awesome. We really, really appreciate it. That's for sure.
Yes, the generosity of your subscribers and the people that come in is just absolutely amazing.
It is. It's incredible.
It is humbling too.
Very, very, very. Don't want to take that for granted in any way.
Because we understand how hard it is to make $1 or a euro or whatever it is. No, seriously. We've been there.
Oh, for sure.
And we do appreciate that, it's a decision on what to do with your money. So thank you so much for the support.
That means so much to us that you enjoy what we're doing enough to help support us.
I think it was the petals that I painted.
I think so. She said something about the petals.
But somebody said I'd have to dance like Michael Flatley
for Lord of the Dance
for $50,000. So.
I'll be buying some river dance tonight and watching that.
Obviously, they haven't seen me dance.
Yeah. I think it was the Rose video, wasn't it? Was it? I don't remember which video it was that you danced.
It might be Michael Flatley when he's like 90. That might be more the look.
Oh, gosh. No, not. Well, I mean, not the... I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to stop right on my head.
Don't forget Stickman.
Trying to be nice, but...
Don't forget Stickman.
Oh, Stickman. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of playing with this now. I'm just enjoying. So this is what I do. I don't ever finish a painting in an hour. Usually I just kind of fiddle and add things and... Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's set this aside and grab Stickman. He's getting a flower today. So we'll give him a big sunflower over here behind his gate.
Well, I'm zooming in on this. This is...
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. I got to get up and close. So Stickman, for those of you who are joining us first time, is our mascot.
Yes, he is.
I created the Stickman art. This is Stickman like 3.0 or 4.0.
4, I think.
Kind of has that Amish look to him because...
It was supposed to be a beard.
No, it was a watercolor painting we did up at Crystal Bridge Museum.
And its own?
Obviously, I don't know watercolor. How to do it well.
But you did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I did it on
I wouldn't
purpose.
have known.
It was intentional.
It just spread like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going for.
All right, yeah. So he got his eclipse and his owl and his sunflower now. He's all set to go. All right, guys, thanks so much. We appreciate you as always. Please like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on Saturday. We're going to be doing another painting for you. I think it'll be fall themed. I'm thinking maybe we're doing a barn. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be either this Saturday or next, but if I can get it done in time. I've got a bunch of gallery stuff to get done this week, so it just depends on how ambitious I am. We might see part 2 of this instead. We'll see. But if not, we'll see part 2 of this on next Tuesday, so stick around for that. All right. See you next time. Bye.